privileges, then why are you denying me my right to be married to someone of the same sex within this country? You can't have your cake and eat it too. Now, I've seen another Casey, again, whose name I will not call, say something to the degree, and I know it's coming, that there isn't anything in our laws apart from, I think, the Maritime Marriage Act that speaks to same sex unions. So I could already see the argument coming. And we have to prepare ourselves for it because it's coming. So I don't know if that answers your question. Again, I'm not speaking from a legal standpoint. I'm just speaking my personal opinion. If I'm a sovereign nation, I should have the right as a sovereign nation to say, I am not accepting this, or I am accepting this in my country. Now, I can't stop you from bringing your spouse. Y'all could come as much as you want, come live as how you want to live. That's on y'all. But to tell me as a nation, I have to now accredit your same sex spouse, I think that opens a serious can of worms for me in my nation. Because how, on the one hand, could I recognize and accredit your same sex union, but not afford the same opportunity to persons within my own country?
Can I respond?
Absolutely.
Madam, I accept both of us. We're not a legal mind, but our values in terms of Christian that supersede all the legal ratifications anyone can offer, and that is in the preamble, if I'm right, that this country was built on Christian values. So whoever that person is, they are entitled to their opinion, and I have a right to my Christian values that I was taught as a child, I was structured in as a child, and it's in the preamble. So the liberal views will not go away, and I believe it will intensify because we do have persons who sit in parliament with those liberal views, and they believe they have a right to impose their liberal views on Christians. So I am looking at my end, at the Christian values that I was structured in. So please respect my Christian values that a marriage is between a husband and wife. This is why I have a problem with this gender equality. Because these people want to turn around and adopt children, and they want to be qualified and equal with me, who is married into a Christian family or my Christian values, and they want to be equal to me. I have a problem with that, and I'll move on. And I'll move on to another issue. I want to say this to my minister of WIC. I'm going to call him out. I paid him a salary. Minister Alfred says, I want to say to you, sir, I see you give a contract to all these roads, vendors, whoever they are, and especially South, East Street South. I live in the South. Sir, I say to you, please, Minister says, if you can't construct the road with excellence, you might as well leave the big holes and let it be. You dug up from Calvary Temple going south. No excellence, sir. You will not do that in the area that you live. You're patching up with these cronies that you gave contract to. No excellence. Mr. Sayers, go home and sleep tonight. Please don't do to no one what you will not do to yourself in your area. Please, if there is no excellence, you might as well let us all drop in the hole until Christ comes. I need to get that off my chest. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Well, today is all about getting stuff off your chest. Whatever's on your mind, this is the time for us to talk about it. Um, yeah. What do you say about these potholes? Like I said before, people benefiting from this. Follow the money. See who makes the most money when they keep patching and patching and patching and patching and patching. And then that'll answer some questions for you. You cannot tell me that in 2023 we ain't learned yet how to properly pave a road. You can't convince me of that. I'm not convinced. Sorry. So somebody has to be benefiting from us continuing to do the same thing over and over again. Somebody benefiting financially. Follow the money. You cannot tell me that in the year 2023 we still don't know how to pave roads properly. You can't convince me of that. And it's not like the information's so hard to find. If you would say, well, our companies ain't that advanced. Come on, man. It's 2023. Even if you ain't that advanced, you could Google how to properly pave a road if your company ain't that advanced and get advanced. But no, this is all planned. Somebody is benefiting from all this patching would keep going on. This is why you will see one particular agency come, they got to dig up the road to fix whatever they got to fix. And they fix whatever they got to fix. They pave the roads back. And then within a week, 2 weeks, somebody else is digging it up again because nobody bothered to communicate to say, well, while we digging this up one time, let's all come together as the various departments and fix everything one time so we don't have to keep digging it up again. No, that's too efficient. So I can wait 2 weeks after you dig it up and repave it, and I come in to dig it up to fix whatever I gotta fix. And then when I eventually repave it, somebody else come behind me another 2 weeks and they dig it up. Every dig up, somebody getting money in their pocket. So you can't convince me that we don't know how to do better. We do. But that will cut out somebody making their money. Follow the money. Somebody is benefiting from inefficiency. Follow the money. Speaking of inefficiency, I gotta, you talk about getting things off your chest. I gotta get this off my chest. I went into a government agency today, right? To submit a form for a new document I have to get. I got there about 10 minutes after 1. So I was directed where to get the form that I needed to fill out to get this updated document. I got the form, I filled it out. They directed me where I needed to go and wait. I had to take a number. I said, okay. There were quite a few people there ahead of me. So as I see time ticking away, ticking away, ticking away, ticking away. And as you all know, I got to be on there for 2 o'clock. Remember, I got there from 10 minutes to 1. All I wanted to do was turn in the form, let them copy my passport, and leave. Because obviously I wouldn't have had time to wait for the new document. I just wanted to turn in the form. Um, because I knew I had to be on there for 2 o'clock. And so somebody pointed out to me the lady who was dealing with all of that in terms of collecting these documents from people who were waiting. So I walked over to her and I said, "Ma'am, can you just collect my documents, please? Because I can't wait much longer. I have to be on there for 2 o'clock." So she said, "Give me a minute, please. Give me a minute." And she had a lot of papers in her hand. She was dealing with people who were obviously ahead of me. That's understandable. Okay. So she went into the office area, I guess, to submit the papers that she did have. And then she came back out and she was talking to these two people. I guess about whatever documentation they had to submit or whatever. And so as she was walking back into the office, I said, "Ma'am, can I just please turn this in? Um, because I have to be on air for 2 o'clock." Well, it's almost 2 o'clock now. I say, "Yeah, that's why I just wanted to turn this in. Give me a minute, give me a minute, give me a minute." I'm like, "Okay." So eventually a young man came out of the office and I said to him, "Sir, excuse me, I really just want to turn in this form. Um, I don't have to wait on the documents. I just want to turn in the form." So he said, "Let me give me a minute, let me check." So he walks into the office. Then he comes back out and he say, "Miss Stacy, you gotta wait." I say, "Sir, I have to be on there at 2 o'clock. I can't wait. I just want to turn in the form. I don't want to wait for it. I could come back, whenever the document is ready. I just want to turn in the form." "Miss, you gotta wait." I say, "You know what? Let me go." I say, "I'll come back another time." "Yeah, yeah, come back another time." And I left there thinking to myself, how difficult is it for you to take a piece of paper out of somebody's hand? Now, I was really thinking hard and long if I wanted to bring this up on air because, people could be spiteful. So I ain't going to say which agency it is because they just will treat me bad when I go back if I do that. But I'm thinking to myself, how difficult is it for you to just take a piece of paper out of somebody's hand? I said repeatedly, listen, I expect y'all to process this before 2 o'clock. I get it. I just want to turn it in because I really realized that, okay, this you ain't gonna get this back in time. So I just want to turn in the paper. Damn people act today like I was asking them to do rocket science. Somebody put on Facebook which agency they think it is. I can say which one it is because I won't get treated bad, but I ain't gonna get treated worse when I gotta go back there next week. Because tomorrow is Saturday, so they ain't gonna be open tomorrow. How hard is it to take a piece of paper out of somebody's hand? Just to be fair, I went into another government agency yesterday for another thing. I hear the music playing, but I just gotta say this. They direct me to which office I need to go to. I walk in the office. The people in there cackling like a bunch of hens. Loud. Girl, you was too much. That time I stand there saying, okay, where do I go? Who do I see? Because there was a lot of them in there. I stood in there one good 15, 20 minutes before somebody finally came over and said, "Miss, you need to go to that lady over there." And then when I go to her, she say, "You ain't see me waving at you?" I'm like, "No, I didn't. I was waving at you a long time to tell you come over." And I'm saying to myself, "Miss, all you have to do is say, next." Because clearly, if I didn't see you and you see I see you, all you had to do was say, next. The level of unprofessionalism in this country, my God. But these are the same people who will get up and carry on bad and talk about they ain't getting what they deserve to get, and they ain't getting this increment, and they ain't getting that. But the service you are providing is deplorable. We really got to do better in this country in 2023. I scale opportunity Friday to get things off your chest. I had to get that off my chest. Because I'm like, how hard is it for you to take a piece of paper out of somebody's hand? Clearly, that's a difficult job to do. Anyhow, let me take this break. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. This is GPS.
Global paradigm shift will return after
Understanding
this.
your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. We're also streaming live to our YouTube channels. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls 801-0271, 801-0271. 971. We are also airing live on Cable Bahamas Channel 974, and you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device. Check us out there. Welcome to our radio audiences from Grand Bahama and New Providence, here in New Providence on 99.5 FM on your dial. And a huge welcome to our audience in Grand Bahamas. I understand Professor Thompson is on the line. Professor, welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Malcolm. I hope you're doing well.
I am, thank you.
I have to take issue with what you did earlier in the show,
Which is?
particularly with this particular personality you said is a well-known QC
Uh-huh.
or KC.
Uh-huh.
Now, I am not going to get involved in people's freedom to impart ideas and opinions. But this kind of behavior from these persons who are legally trained, you know how many people out there want to have a clear legal understanding about the same-sex crap that's going on in this country, whether it's constitutionally sound, yes or no, whether it is in the statute law, yes or no. But you said you had to get permission from the particular personality to say who they were. But see, Miss Malcolm, I always have a problem with them kind of people, you know. If what you're saying is true, what's the secrecy for?
No, don't get me wrong. He didn't send that directly to me and say, don't call my name. It wasn't that kind of scenario. He and I are in the same chat group, and there was a discussion going on in the chat group over the issue, and that is what he put in the chat group. So I said that I will read it, but I obviously didn't tell him I was going to read it on air, or that's why I said, well, you know what, I didn't get permission from him to do so, so I won't call his name. So it wasn't like he sent that to me and say, be secretive about it. It was not like that.
Ms. Malcolm, too many times we have this major problem with these legally trained personalities. That's why plenty of them go to their grave with the knowledge in their head. It is of no value to the masses in this country. You see, I am glad that I had the opportunity to deal with constitutional law, because if I had to wait on them, I'd been waiting 50 years plus. Thank God I didn't have to go through that. But Ms. Malcolm, here's the point. You've got scores of thousands of Bahamians listening to your show who would like to get clear understanding. One, is it constitutionally sound? Yes or no? Number two, is it according to the statute law, and what statute law is it? If it's unconstitutionally sound, then what constitutional law is it unconstitutionally sound? See, but that kind of, and you say it was in the chat group, well, I think that's in the public domain. If it's in the chat group, it should be in the public domain. So it's open for discussion. I'm simply saying we had too much of that over the last 56 years, 57 years, coming up to January the 10th. And these personalities have been a major source of discomfort to the masses in this country. You know how many people out there would like to get sound legal advice are not able to get it because they don't have this amount of money. Everybody looking for money. They want to get this, get that, get the next thing. Is that what this country all about? We've been through 50 years of celebration. We're back at the same crap over and over and over again. That's what disturbed me. Now, I want to make one point clear. I'm not getting into the fact that he has his view to express his view. I always tell people that. But on a matter like same-sex marriage, is it constitutionally sound, yes or no? Is it according to our statute law? Identify the statute law. Identify the portion of the Constitution which says yes or no. That is the kind of help that should be coming from these legally trained personalities. And Ms. Malcolm, since I've been on air, not only on your station, but other stations, I have never seen to any great degree these legally trained persons taking any serious time to help their fellow citizens understand simple, basic, fundamental law. I've never seen it. I don't know if you've seen it.
Mm.
I've been watching it for 50 years. Haven't seen it yet. So what's going to happen now? This is year 51. We can have a continuation of the same thing we had, where we keep people in darkness. They got to fumble and not understand and not know and feel their way through. Whereas there are persons who have the training, even sometimes at government expense, but are not willing to give some consideration to the masses in this country. That is a major, major problem when it comes to law. Now, I just happen to be one who don't even have to depend on them for anything.
Mm.
I've been doing that for 50 years, so I don't have to depend on them for anything. That's Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson. That's not the woman in Baintown with those 5 boys. That's not the man in Falkville with 6 sons, 6 daughters. You want to get them married? You can't find some decent men to marry them. But Miss Malcolm, I take it, I take an offense to that kind of approach. Now, he has a right to do what he wants to do. I'm not going to get into that. But I think when it comes to vital information like same-sex marriage, what is the government's position? He should be able to tell us. Does the Attorney General's office have a position on it? Yes or no? If there's a position on it, what is the position? We need clarity on these things, not people just guessing and bumbling around and that kind of thing. That doesn't help the people. And I take serious offense to that kind of behavior, which I have seen perpetrated for the last 50 years in this country. And guess what, Ms. Malcolm? People are still in the dark, you know.
Mm.
The masses of the people are still in the dark. And yet you will have some crappy person that will call on your show and make comments but refuse to identify themselves. They're not constitutionally sound. I can tell you that off the top.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to have so much to say to make people believe that someone is misleading them. That's why I challenge them to say, you think you's man, you think you's woman, come. They ain't stepped forth yet. They stay in the dark, Miss Malcolm. Those kinds of people are of no value to an independent country.
So based on our constitution, if America were to come to us and try pull the same stunt what they pull in Jamaica, how should we respond based on our constitution?
That's a good question. I can answer that for you.
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution has definite, clear-cut standards for the nation.
Right.
Right there in your preamble.
Mm-hmm.
National commitment to do some very specific things. National commitment to the rule of law. National commitment to self-discipline. Let me tell you something, Ms. Malcolm. The government of the Bahamas never dealt with these things. From our inception, from July 10, 1973, the government of the Bahamas has never, ever dealt with these national things we ought to be doing. Mm-hmm. National commitment to the rule of law. National commitment to Christian values. National commitment to spiritual values. See, I take my time to break these things down. Of course, I go into more detail, but not on the show today. But I'm simply saying, if we are going to go by the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, the answer is no. You tell them right off the top, we cannot accept that. So what's the beating around the bush for? When you, like you just said yourself, and I agree with you when you say you open that door for them so-called marriage, and it's not a marriage, not according to our statute law. Marriage is between a man and a woman. And I'm going to say here right now, we're going to have problems with this because you're going to have some perverted personality who's going to look at that Constitution where it says any woman, and a particular personality is going to present themselves to be purported to be a woman. We can have problems with that because we need to define what is man, what is woman, what is child. It is mentioned in the Constitution. We know what it means, but you got some personalities with twisted, demented minds who got all kind of crappy things running on. We have to secure the supreme law of the land to define what is man, what is child. You see, they got it all mixed up too. And what is woman? The Constitution doesn't spell it out. Now, I could see a liberal-minded personality at some point down the road, if we don't get this thing under control, when a particular personality presents himself, the Constitution says any woman. But the person is saying, I'm a woman. So how are you going to fix that? You see what I'm saying? See, those are the dangerous things that we have coming to our country, and the supreme law of the land. You know, the fellow say, sitting on the bench, that's a woman.
I just think that back in the day when the Constitution was written, common sense prevailed.
Yes.
That ain't necessarily the case anymore.
That's correct.
Because
I agree with you, Ms.
There was a clear definition of what was man or male and what was woman or female at the time that that document was written.
Exactly.
Now, and you know, if you listen to persons within that community, they just keep moving the goalposts.
Of course.
So
That's
today
like
it means this, and then tomorrow you come back and there's some more things being added, and then the day after that you got some more. So they just keep moving the goalposts.
Exactly, Ms. Malcolm. You hit the nail right on the head. I agree with you.
Bottom line is this, because I did a show a couple of weeks ago with a photograph from one of those major news magazines where there's a biological woman, very heavy in pregnancy, who identifies as a man, and they were on the cover, I think it was Time or one of those major magazines, I don't remember which one, dressed as a man, but showing off their very pregnant belly.
Yes.
And the caption was something to the degree of, a matter of fact, I think I have it on my phone.
Yes, ma'am.
The point is, these people are trying to redefine what has been in existence since the beginning of the human race.
That's correct.
For their benefit. Bottom line is this. When the Bible talks about, in the beginning, when the Bible talks about man, it is referring to mankind.
That's correct.
And it says, you know, male and female people.
Created he them.
Right. Created he them. Common sense will tell you that a woman is a wombed man.
Yes.
When I say
woman.
Man, I'm referring to mankind.
Yes.
Okay? So if you have the parts by which you can carry a baby, you are a part of the human race, mankind, that has been given a womb.
That's correct.
You are a wombed man. Now, from time immemorial, common sense would tell you that is what made you a woman. But nowadays, they're trying to change that definition to say, as long as I identify as a woman, as long as I have sufficient money and I could go to the doctor and I could let them put on some false breasts and I could let them cut off my penis and create a hole where the penis is supposed to be, at which, by the way, I learned from watching a reality show, at that show about Jazz, who at the age of 4, mother decided, based on what the child was saying at 4, that even though Jazz was born a boy, he was really a girl trapped in a boy's body. So they started that transition from the child was 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I don't know where else in life you can let a 4-year-old make a decision, a life-altering decision, but that's neither here nor there.
That's the kind of...
I learned from watching that show that when they have that surgery, they have to, on a regular basis, I forget the terminology that she used, but they have to constantly go into that crevice and dilate it, or I don't know if dilate is the right word, but do something to keep the crevice open, because the body naturally knows that that is supposed to be closed because that person was born a male.
Exactly.
So the body naturally starts to close that up, and they have to constantly go in there to try to keep that crevice open so they can remain a quote unquote vagina. This is what you're trying to convince me makes you a woman.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
Ms. Malcolm, is coming from the quote unquote educated personalities of the world who got these degrees and they got money, they got this, they got that. They're the ones who are spreading this kind of crap and making it think that we are so stupid and so foolish. We have to accept the foolishness and the nonsense they're doing. If this was coming from the average man in Bangtown, they'd run him out of town. But it's coming from the so-called elite people, the educated people. I have nothing against education. But when people become fools, we have to call them what they are. They're stupid, they're foolish, they're ignorant. They are against God's natural way for the human family. Why should we support that? So I'm saying that, we have to look at our Constitution, and I'm just going to put this out for the public to think about it, because some other things we got to change in the Constitution. Now, I will say, of course, we have a problem right there now. Her Majesty the Queen is dead. We have no more Queen.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty articles that are involved with the duties of Her Majesty the Queen, but there's no more Queen. We got to fix that one. That's one we got to fix. We also got to look at the one which talks about any woman. That is going to cause us some problems. Do not wait until we have to go to court to try to say what a woman is. We need to entrench these things in the Constitution. What is man? What is woman? What is boy? What is girl? What is male? What is female? So that there's no misunderstanding whatsoever. See, it's in the statute law, that's fine, about the marriage. I accept that. To me, that's not strong enough.
Mm.
That's not strong enough. Put it in the Constitution where it cannot be changed unless you go to a referendum. See, you got some fellas now who running things. They ain't gonna fool around with no referendum. So you put it in the statute law, they'll have their way. But we have to look at these things very objectively. People got to wake up, man. After 50 years of sleeping, when the Queen died, of course, people start to wake up. And that's a good thing, because I had to wait 50 years for them to kind of catch themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand the confusion in the minds of the average person. That's why I think it's a part of my responsibility as a law-abiding citizen, and one who knows better, because I know better than most of them, that you have to help them to see differently, to understand truthfully what the law says. And I get very frustrated when I see, like I said, this has been going on for more than half a century, with personalities like legally trained persons who have been sitting in the dark, and we got scores of thousands of Bahamians wanting to understand legal matters, but do not have the benefit of these personalities who are supposed to be legally trained, and they're not moving any finger. Something like what Jesus said. They won't lift their little finger to help you. That's a fact. And, while that particular case, whoever it may be, to me is not that important. But what was said, see, I take exception to what was said. Now, if the person is interested in helping his nation, that's one thing. If the person is not interested in helping his nation, that's another thing. You say, okay, goodbye, go your way. But the Bahamian people got to learn to understand. Do not depend on them. We've had more than 50 years of their crap. 50 plus years. I've seen it with my own eyes. And I say, you know something? I got to study constitutional law. And that's what I did. I had no choice. Because I said, when I came to see that's the supreme law, I said, hey, that's it. I go in after that. And I never turned back. So, we're not helping the people, Ms. Malcolm. If people who are legally trained are not interested in helping the country, then the people have to think of alternative methods. There are alternatives, You don't worry about that crew. There are alternatives for the Bahamian people. I always hear people say, well, I'm not a lawyer. Well, I can tell them most of these lawyers don't know the Constitution to begin with. Most of them. A very large percentage of them. They may be in other aspects of the law, criminal law, real estate law, and that kind of thing. They can study those things. I have no problem with that. When it comes to constitutional law, they are blind. They have no understanding. But then if you don't understand, just tell the people you don't know. Why is that so difficult? Everybody comes say, they throw themselves under the bus. I'm not a trained lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. The Constitution never said that. The Constitution never said you have to be a lawyer to understand constitutional law.
No, but there may be something in there that, I'm not, you understand what I mean when I say that. Not to say that I can't think or I don't have common sense, but.
Miss Malcolm, I do. That's why I went and studied constitutional law.
Mm-hmm.
So I can help the people. I can assist the people. I can train the people. I don't want them to, Ms. Malcolm, I need 150,000 like me, okay? And I'm going to work on that tirelessly on your show and other areas where it's open to me. Because as long as they stay in the dark, Ms. Malcolm, we can't build no nation like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't leave them in the dark. So when I come on Mondays, I got to talk to people and break it down in simple, basic language that when they hear it from Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, that's the truth. And I challenge anyone who thinks there's man, who think there's woman, come. There ain't one come yet. But they talk foolishness by sending these little notes around. But they don't identify themselves. So the public could know who they are. The public know who I am. I don't hide myself behind no rock and throw the rock and say, who threw the rock? You don't play those kind of games. The country is in too much trouble, Ms. Malcolm, for that kind of crap to be going on today. We're in our 51st year. Let me stop right there, because when I come on to the Constitution, I can go till the man comes back. I can stop right there. Thank you, Ms. Malcolm, for allowing me to speak.
Thanks for calling, Professor. Again, for out of fairness, I only didn't call that Casey's name because, quite frankly, I didn't say to him, I'm going to read what you said in this group on the air. And I just think it's fair that, I didn't know that we would be talking about this today. And so, I just, out of courtesy, I would have preferred to say, well, do you mind if I go ahead and read this on the air? I didn't get that permission, so I'm not going to go ahead and put their name out there like that. They weren't hiding behind anything. They said what they said in their name in that chat. But again, I am just out of courtesy, you're not willing to do that. For the record, the magazine with the cover of the trans pregnant proud individual is Glamour UK. Wasn't Time magazine. It was Glamour UK, where they have the supposed quote unquote man showing his very pregnant belly. You all think this a game. But ain't nobody can convince me to tell the emperor that his suit is beautiful when clearly he is bald, naked. I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid. So sorry. We're going to take a break. We'll be back on the other side. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this TGIF open line show. The numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 8010271. 8010271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Also streaming live to our YouTube channels, and you can catch us on channel 974 on Cable Bahamas. You can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and listen to us there. And somebody just sent me a message on Facebook saying, how come I don't send a shout out to the people in the family islands y'all listening to? My apologies. So I can stop only singling out Grand Bahama. Thank you to all of my listeners across the archipelago and outside of the archipelago who are tuned in today. A huge welcome to you all. Thank you so much for making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful.
That issue with the trans and the gay marriage or whatever happening in the Bahamas, I am not concerned as far as about it as much as a lot of persons are, because of the simple fact is we don't do that. That's not who we are. We are a Christian nation, and I don't think you'll ever live to see that happen.
Don't be so sure.
this Malcolm. See, we have to have this mentality. We can't say and wait for the big boys to come and rain down on us and put pressure on us, because I see that coming.
Oh, absolutely.
I see what's happening in Jamaica. I see that's going on.
Trust me.
I am aware that we have persons who live among us who are living that lifestyle. The woman said she has cramps. The man says that he calls himself a she. She has cramps every month. She dresses like a female. She wears makeup and everything. She was on the show or whatever. This is what she shared her experience with the Bahamian people. So I'm aware that it's happening, right? But I'm saying, as far as it being legalized, and for us as a country to accept it, and when I say accept it, I mean across the board.
Well, let me put it this way. If Bahamians don't stand up for what they say they believe and are afraid to put their voices out there to say, no, this is something we stand against, it will absolutely pass in this country.
And see, you said the key. You said the key thing. You said what you said was key. If Bahamians don't stand up and make it clear, crystal clear, that we are not going to accept this, we are not going to deal with this. If you want to do what you want to do, fine. Just we're not having it here. And our leaders and whoever else that are supposed to, we pay them to do. Okay, leadership. I think they watch and they do a what you call it, observation. They check the temperature of the people.
Right.
They observe and they see the they would check for the reaction, for the responses, and whatever have you. But I think they are going to be, and I think you see it coming, a little touchy, a little feeling, a little playing around with the games, even with the contrast with where they tried to, when they did the gay flag in Jamaica, they marched against that, right? The Christian folk over there, they stood up against that. You didn't. How many persons you saw as far as with the Christian council or anyone really stood up when that started happening in the Bahamas? Okay, I know that's their property and that's their thing. Okay, fine, that's their land or whatever the U.S. Embassy is, right? That's fine. But you still didn't hear that much pushback or anything like that when that happened. So you're going to have these little persons who are going to test us. Right now, you see what's going on in Jamaica. I don't know. Like I said, I had asked a question sometime this week with CARICOM leaders, with persons, the Caribbean leaders, and whatever have you, if they work on us as far as with Jamaica, because you see a little pressure that's being put on them in reference to their diplomats, their visas going on, right? Now, I don't know if it's the timing or what they're waiting on, if they're going to stand with Jamaica on this, or what they're going to do. I guess they're waiting to see what's happening with that, right? Because guess what? To Jamaica today, tomorrow Trinidad, the Bahamas next, and they're going to come. They're going to come to us. But we now we as a people, we have to make up our minds whether we are prepared to take and suffer the consequences of with our stance. Because everything at the end of the day, it requires sacrifice. It requires sacrifice. And persons are going to put a lot of limitations on us and do a lot of things to us as a country and as a people, if we really stand strong and stand firm against this when they come in this gay marriage. Because some of the states in America, they don't acknowledge, they don't even deal with this. They have an issue over there as well, right? But unless we're going to, we have to ask ourselves, each one of us, if we are prepared to make the sacrifices.
Okay.
In reference to whether we're going to accept this or not. And I truly feel as if I don't think it's gonna we're gonna accept that lifestyle in reference to when you go to the point of having on Saturdays or whatever, the weddings, the both men getting married, the women getting married, and this and that, and all this foolishness going on around here. I don't think you'll see that here. It'll be worse in Cheltenham. Have a safe and a glorious weekend, okay?
You too. Thanks for calling. I know I have a cell phone caller. I just want to say this real quick before we go to the cell phone caller that's waiting. America know just who to pick fight with. Because let's say the Middle Eastern countries that are so, what's the word I'm looking for? If you do foolishness in their country, you could lose your life. Let them go to one of them and say, we sending this diplomat to your country, same-sex marriage, and you gotta give the spouse diplomatic, privileges. First and foremost, they send them to these particular countries. They can tell you we ain't getting you no diplomatic privilege. They'll flick and cut off your head. I ain't saying we gotta be barbaric like that, but America knows just who to pick fight with. They wouldn't try that foolishness with one of them. Because I'll tell you one thing, that U.S. diplomat spouse wouldn't be coming back home alive. But anyhow, I digress. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yeah, you remember the reporter in the Arabian country that just went missing? Anyway, you can't go in certain countries and practice your bad habits because if you find out what their law says.
And they don't play with them laws.
They enforce their laws. And that's the difference right there between us and them. We try to find a hole for someone to wiggle under. We try to stall the prosecution, someone accused of rape, until the person who's accusing finally get fed up and withdraw it. Because we don't need a by-election. That would be hurtful. So we just use the law as our convenience. But I thought when a child is born with both organs, there is a surgery that is recommended because the doctors see a tendency that this child seems to be born male and female.
Right.
Are we allowing these to just happen now and have them develop? And then you end up with persons with two organs and then they're confused?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what the stance is. And I do know that persons within that community, because we do have intersex persons here in the Bahamas who are born with both, and they have been long complaining that there is inadequate, what they call trans health. So in other words, there aren't any doctors who can, adequately meet their needs. And this is one of the things that they say they're fighting for in terms of their rights to have better health care available to them. And for the record, somebody who is intersex is not quite the same, I don't believe, as someone who is transgender. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. But from what my understanding is, a person who is born with both is considered to be intersex. Now, what our law states in terms of at what point they are able to, decide which they feel more comfortable being, I really don't have any knowledge as to that.
Because there are probably some freaks out here who would mind marrying someone.
I don't think that we should, but anyway, go ahead.
But no, I'm just saying, there seems to be a tendency for us to be leaning toward people who wants to transition. See, look at it this way. Souls migrate to this particular planet through the womb. It's necessary that we preserve the womb on planet Earth. Mm-hmm. Now, you would recall there's a piece of scripture where the Lord actually said that he regretted the day he made man, but you only get the rest, made man on earth. See, that's the piece that he regret. Not making man, but putting man in this environment where he would fall to Lucifer experiments. And this is one of them. This gay thing is a Lucifer experiment, just like Job was one. And we need to stand strong with this as a world, not just as a country. The world needs to stand. But we seem to be losing because Lucifer, don't forget now, y'all crucified Christ. And the Romans start their church, and they were the ones who crucified Christ. So look at what's going on here. This thing is endemic in the Romans, and they run the world.
Mm.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for calling. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 8010271. 8010271. I see a couple of people, Shanika and Lloyd, saying on Facebook, hermaphrodite. But I've been advised that that is a term that is used for animals that have both male and female genitalia. But as for humans, the correct and politically correct term is intersex. Okay? So, again, I made the same mistake, but out of ignorance, I guess, and was corrected by someone who was born with both, that the correct and politically correct term is intersex. Okay? So, not that persons within that community have to be affirmed by me or anyone else. But just personally speaking, I have a better, I don't want to use the word appreciation, but I have a higher degree of understanding towards someone who's intersex than I do for somebody who's just trans. Now, call me ignorant, call me bigoted, call me whatever you want, call me, it is what it is. I'm entitled to my opinion, just like you're entitled to yours. I have a greater, personally speaking, Michelle Malcolm, this is not the position of Global or anyone else. This is just my personal thoughts. I have a greater level of understanding and compassion for someone who was born intersex than I do for someone who is trans. Now, maybe I just ain't evolved enough yet to understand, but I'm sorry, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. I think a lot of this has to do with a political stance. And when I say political, I don't mean PLP and FNM. I'm talking from a global perspective. I'm going to say something right now that may offend some people, especially trans people and people in the LGBTQIA community. And I don't mean for it to be offensive, but it is what it is. If you are a scholar of the Bible, and I know many of you aren't, whether you're in trans or otherwise, the Bible tells you that the Antichrist, the person who will, at the end of the age, when there's this battle that is to take place, that the Antichrist will be someone from within that community. It tells you very clearly that this person will not have any natural affection for women. So clearly, if you understand what they're trying to say, is that person will be male, but not have any natural affection for women. So clearly, they will be someone from within that community. Now, does that mean that I'm calling every single person within that community a demon from the pit of hell? No. And that's not what I intended. And if that's what you get from what I just said, that's not my intent. But the Bible is very clear on the identity of the Antichrist. It says some other things as well in terms of what region the person will be from. But it clearly says that this person will be without natural affection towards women. So I do believe, again, this is just my personal opinion, that this is an agenda because we got to fulfill the book. And so this, in my humble opinion, is why America is not satisfied with just saying, this is what we are going to do in America. No, they got to influence the whole world. Because this is a part of, I believe, the days leading up to prophecy being fulfilled. And whether you believe in it or not, prophecy will be fulfilled. We got to fulfill the book. So that's just my personal opinion. You may say, Michelle, you way off track with that. You out of line. You out of order. Again, this was not intended to offend anybody or insult anybody. I ain't trying to do that on the show. I just, given my personal opinion. So Wolverine says, stay in your lane. Whatever God has installed for an individual is between them and God. We're supposed to exercise tolerance and compassion for all things God allowed life. Okay. Let me just say this too, because I've heard the whole argument of, Jesus accepted people for who they are, and y'all Christians are hateful, and why don't you just accept me for who I am, and yada, yada, yada. Let me just say this. The Bible says, come as you are. The Bible often talks about how when Jesus used to want to insult the religious leaders of the day, or I shouldn't say insult, but when he wanted to diplomatically tell them about themselves. I remember at one point they were saying, oh, he's nothing but a glutton and a drunk because he hanging out with the prostitutes and he this and he the next. And so they were saying he couldn't be a holy man, because if he was a holy man, he would have known who these people were, who he's hanging out with. And his response was simply, the sick don't need a doctor. So if I am hanging with these people, it's because they need what I am bringing to the world. So what do I mean? Where am I going with this? The Bible says, come as you are, yes. And I have a problem with any church that will turn someone away because they figure, oh, we don't want any gay people in this church. We don't want any trans people in this church. We don't come in here. Well, then something wrong with that church. Because the whole point of the church is to draw people in to the light of Christ, to the gospel of the good news, to the kingdom of God. So if you can tell people you can't come in my church, then something wrong with your church, because that's supposed to be the whole role of the church. But nowhere in the Bible does it say, come as you are and stay as you are. There's supposed to be some kind of transformation, whether you are heterosexual, homosexual, transgender, whatever. As a heterosexual, I may be living a lifestyle that is not conducive to the gospel. And I come into the church and I receive salvation. I ain't supposed to stay the way I come into the church. There should be some kind of transformation that takes place. It say, come as you are. All are welcome. But it don't say stay as you are. And if there's no transforming power, and I guess this is the case for many churches, they just want people in there to make up the numbers, to make sure they, getting a little tithe and offering or whatever. And so they ain't gonna say nothing to make anybody, face the fact that you're supposed to be transformed by the power. No, we just, our job is just to welcome you in and give you love. Okay, yes, we're supposed to love everyone, but my God, as a church, we are also supposed to lead them to Christ. So if your church, number one, say don't come in here because you this, you got a problem. But also, if your church is saying, come one, come all, but stay as you are, just come. There ain't got to be no transformation. Something wrong with you too. Again, that's just my personal opinion. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Michelle, how you doing?
Excellent. How are you?
Well said. Well said. The Bible said, we all are sinners. We all are guilty. There's none righteous, no, not
absolutely,
one.
Absolutely.
And watch this, Michelle. like you said, if someone, when I talk into, or if I make statement, I say, the Bible said, he said, no fornicators, no adulterers, no man stealers, no liars, no effeminate. He said, if you practice those things, you shall not inherit the kingdom of God. And sometimes what they like to say, oh, y'all only stick at homosexuality. No. The Bible is clear. Fornicators, adulterers, man stealers, liars, all of those persons said, if you practice that type of lifestyle, you shall not inherit the kingdom of God. And that's why Jesus said, guess what? That's why I came to die for you. So when you come as a sinner and you realize that you're a sinner and that Jesus Christ died for you, and you say, okay, now I'm placing my faith and trust what he did for me, for the finished work on the cross of Calvary. And once you say you trust Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, you know what happened? The Bible says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he's a what?
New creature.
A new creation. All things are passed away. All things are become new. But you can't say, hey, someone said you could be you could be a lesbian and still be a Christian. No, not a practicing homosexual, a practicing fornicator, and say you're a Christian. No, the Bible is clear. And another thing, in the book of Genesis, when the angels came in, you know what they said? Bring these men out that we may know them. You know what the condemnation they put to that? Oh, they was in hospital. They was in, they didn't welcome him. But the word no means sexual relationship. And the Bible said Adam knew his wife.
Right.
Adam knew his wife. Whenever you see that means it's talking about a sexual relationship. It wasn't talking about inhospitality. It wasn't talking about that. And the Bible proved that again. Then he said, bring these men out. Lord said, don't do these men. He said, take my daughters. They are virgin. But his daughters was married. But the man didn't have their sexual relationship with their wives. So it proved then he was talking about, there was all kinds of sin in Sodom and Gomorrah. But God said, because these men came in, and you want to lie with these men, God called fornicators, adulterers, all those things, lesbian. I wouldn't say gay. The Bible called it sodomite. And like you said, I love them. You go into church and you said that church, don't come in here. But once you point that person to the Lord Jesus Christ and they realize that they're sinners and they say, okay, now I realize my condition. I'm a sinner. Jesus died for me and I trust him. You can't go backward and say, okay, now I can continue to live this lifestyle. You can't tell me don't live this lifestyle. You got to check your faith. You have to check your faith.
And for the record, that applies to the fornicator, that applies to the adulterer, that applies to the liar, that applies to the thief. Yeah.
Yes, Michelle. And I tell people, I give nobody no right to physically harm those individuals.
No.
They should go to jail. You don't go there and physically beat them up.
No, that's not right. That's not right.
You wouldn't be showing love to them, so you got to show the compassion and love to them. But don't try to push it down my throat and say, well, we are very intolerant. We are more tolerant than them than anybody else. And when you think about other nations of the world, even when it comes down to religion, when you look at the Muslim countries, they come here, they got their mosques and everything set up, but we as Christians, we can't do that over there.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for calling. I do not believe that anybody has the right to be violent to anybody else for whatever reason. I am not condoning that, and I don't want anyone to leave with the impression that I'm saying it's okay for you to be violent towards somebody, because thank God for his grace. Let me tell you, it's like the story of the woman who was caught in adultery, right? They were ready to stone this woman to death. Now, I always had a problem with that story because my thing was she wasn't committing adultery by herself. Where was the man in all of this? But anyhow, that's another story. They come and they ready to kill this woman because she committing adultery. And Jesus said very clearly, he who is without sin cast the first stone. Every last one, from the old to the young, had to drop those stones and walk away. Why? Because we have all sinned and fallen short. All of us. I thank God for his grace. What is grace? Grace is him giving you what you don't deserve in terms of blessing and not giving you what you do deserve in terms of punishment. Thank God for his grace. Because if it wasn't for God's grace, and none of us would have been walking around here. Because we've all sinned and fallen short. All of us. Every last one. I thank God for his grace. And we need to remember that when we decide that we're going to hurt somebody else because of whatever they're dealing with. I often say to my friends, your sin might be different from mine, but sin is sin. We got to call it for what it is. And I think a part of the problem with the church today is they too busy trying to be politically correct. If you study Jesus, come on right now because I hear the music. Jesus used to speak to people in parables. Jesus was truly a diplomat. They say diplomacy is telling somebody to go to hell and they look forward to the trip. Jesus was quite diplomatic when he used to be reading up them Pharisees and Sadducees. He used to read them right up. And oftentimes they had to walk away and say, wait a minute, what did he just say? But you got to call a spade a spade. Sin is still sin. Whether you commit it or whether I commit it, and yours might be different from mine. But sin is still sin. I don't care how evolved you are. Sin is still sin. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat US addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this TGIF Open Line show. Check us out on YouTube and on Facebook. If you haven't already done so, like and share the show. We are also streaming live to Cable Bahamas Channel 974. The telephone number is to call 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. A huge welcome to our audience, not just here in New Providence and in Grand Bahama, but throughout the archipelago, all of the family islands, and internationally as well, because we do have listeners listening from all over the world. Thank you so much for making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. We do have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Miss Malcolm?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Malcolm?
Yes.
I'm wondering if I could speak about a concern I have. This is Ruth.
I recognize the voice. How you doing?
I'm doing much better today, thank you.
Good. What is the concern you want to speak about?
My concern is about seniors in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I was speaking with someone in the U.S. yesterday, and I told them about my concern. I'm concerned that the government of this country is talking about putting us on digital currency and all that sort of thing,
mm-hmm.
but no preparation or training has been provided for the senior citizens.
Right.
And I was told by that person in the U.S. that in America, they are training their seniors. They are opening up their community centers
mm-hmm.
and their libraries to seniors, and they are conducting training sessions for the digital world at least twice per week.
Mm-hmm.
And if seniors don't have their own computers, they provide computers and other devices
mm-hmm.
for them.
Yes.
But no preparation, no training. I haven't heard of anything pertaining to seniors in this country.
Mm. That's a very, very good point. Thank you, Ms. Ruth, for calling in with that. I don't know if there is any such program, and I'm just not aware of it, but I do like the idea that you're proposing that they bring it into the communities, whether it's at the public libraries in the community or urban centers or whatever it is. This is a service that should be made available. You're absolutely right, to the seniors, because yes, we're living in a digital age, but you can't just ignore people who are not there. You got to bring them along with you. And
Yes.
I know that the relevant authorities do listen to this show, and so hopefully they're taking note of this, and we will hear sooner than later what specific plans are being put in place for our seniors.
Well, it's rather late
Yeah.
because they plan to go digital before the end of this year.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Hopefully we'll see some movement, and I will definitely try my best to make representation to say,
They should make provision in every constituency
yeah,
throughout the Bahamas.
agreed. We can't just leave people behind. Agreed. Miss Ruth, I got another call on the line. Thank you for calling, eh?
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Caller, welcome to GPS. Hi.
Big 6-0.
Huh?
I said the big 6-0.
Yep.
Anyway, Malcolm, what I noticed the other day, the contract them. We like what the government is doing is giving people a contract. But when you give these contracts to people,
Mm-hmm.
they got to be qualified and know what they're doing. The little patch in the road, what they're doing, they ain't get the proper tools to do the patch them with. They beating down the tar with the shower. You know, you need a stomper so when you press that down, that it, stay down and stuff like that.
Right.
And because it can cause more problem when you see the rainy season start back again.
Yeah, because there's opening potholes right up when the rain come down.
It come right back up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we see Jamaica had their tests. And trust me, the Bahamas owns coming. And when the Bahamas come, will the Bahamas bend down? But we wait to see what is going to happen, because sooner or later, that is going to happen. Two more points. The prison. I see now next month, men that have children or wife, they say they invite them to come in to spend their time with them inside the prison.
Mm-hmm.
So, look like everything what America them do and stuff like that, we allow these things to happen. I mean, if that's what they see, and if they see something inside it, I don't see that.
You don't think prisoners should be allowed to see their families?
Well, I mean, they could come out to how we used to come outside to the bench and stuff like that and talk with them. But when you talk about going into the cell, you see, so that's another thing, because they going into the cell with their daddy or whoever.
Is that what they said is going to happen?
Yes, ma'am. Next month. Yes. And my last point, I know where Mr. Vetchcom was going with this when he told Mr. Pintard he never worked for nobody.
I actually pulled clips from that fight in the House of Assembly to play today. Oh, Lord.
I know exactly where he was going, but he didn't finish saying it. And Michael Pintard should know better to pick any fight with Mr. Vetchcom. Mr. Vetchcom is too smart, and Michael will out-talk him now, because Mr. Pintard, he could route. But Mr. Vetchcom say he never worked for nobody. Michael just paused and then he started again. You see? So I think Mr. Pintard going to be trying to be a leader. He should not carry on like that in the House of Assembly. And you see what the speaker do. The speaker, I mean, I think he's intimidating the speaker.
Who intimidates the speaker?
Mr. Pintard.
You think so?
Yes, because
why you think so?
It seems like every time when the speaker tell her, "Have a seat, Marcos, have a seat," he just, "Oh, you ain't got muscle to me. You ain't gonna do this to me."
I actually pulled two clips from the House of Assembly fight. I pulled one with what we call Nat Sound, with just the fight itself carrying on. And then I have an actual report from one of the local news agencies about what happened. I can play the clip so people can hear it for themselves.
Yeah, played and the way he carrying on, and you watched it. See, the PLP is using strategy on Mr. Pentad. They bearing him right out. Mr. Pentad is frustrated, and they bearing him right out because, and Mr. Menace is just sitting back and watching. He is going through this drill, and he's playing right in the hand of PLP because the PLP know they get another chance again. You know, in spite of we seeing these crime and things, it's no. If you look around, there's no other one that you see. You really see it fit to be the next leader. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thanks for calling. All right, let me play this clip. I can play the one without any commentary. When the Speaker of the House say this is not a playground. I want you to listen to this.
Right now we're talking about the Governor General's Volunteer Society Bill. That he met in place. He will follow the rule. Disrespect for this chair will not be tolerated. Every person in this house has talked about other matters while they're on their feet. Every member. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? What are you last time we said? Honorable members. Members, I am on my feet and I'm asking members to take their seat for the last time. And all sides abuse it, but today I am asking members to stay. Listen. Honorable members. Oh, this is the last time I am calling for members to take control. And I will tell you, I will exercise Rule 88. Rule 88. Let me put this on the floor of the House right now. Order in the House and in committee. I will exercise this rule, and if I have to persistently call for members to conduct themselves, I will exercise my right in this place. This is not the playground. This is where we come to do the business of the people.
The Speaker say, "Oh." Okay, let me play the clip now. Explaining all of this from one of the local news stations, right? Because you listen to that, you say, "What the hell? What going on here?" Okay, let me play this clip now that explains what actually went down there. I wanted y'all to hear the one first without the commentary. But let me go ahead and play this now, so you'll understand. You'll have a better understanding of what took place in the House of Assembly.
Right now we're talking about the Governor General's Volunteer Society Bill.
I think that was the wrong one. Let me play the correct one now. Just 1 second.
Honorable member. Members.
House Speaker Patricia DeVoe rising to her feet several times in Parliament today, hoping to restore order as a heated spat erupted between the opposition leader Michael Pintard and leader of government business in the House, Obi Welshcombe. Members were debating the Governor General's Volunteer Society Bill, and Pintard pointed out that volunteers were needed to help to restore immigration issues nationwide.
On the Select Committee to address all matters related to immigration. Bahamians with impeccable reputation to work alongside the government of the Bahamas to address the varied issues related to immigration. Madam Speaker.
Well, it was that Welshcombe objected.
Madam Speaker.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for West Grand Bahama.
How could the member for Markle fully appreciates the rules of the House? There are times when our side allows for the latitude and times when our members engage. The member, Madam Speaker, yes, and I'm talking about our team. I'm talking about our team. We're talking about our team. But you are to be relevant.
Pintard continued, noting that he had a right to speak.
12 more minutes, and I intend to address matters of national importance. Madam Speaker, you do not have the ability to muzzle me. Speaking, the government of the Bahamas, Department of Immigration website, Madam Speaker, reads, work permit new. Non-Bahamian nationals who are desirous of working and living in
the back and forth continuing, bringing the speaker to her feet several times.
It is not a point of order. It is not. It is the chair recognizes the honorable member. No, it is not a point of order, and I will not yield to you.
You're misleading your constituents. You don't have to yield. No, I have not been sent anywhere. No, you are there, envoy, not me, bro. I ain't never worked for nobody. Never.
Remember, this is the last call.
That's all you ever
the last
do.
warning I will extend for members to take their seat. Honorable members.
She finally warned that the misconduct will not continue.
Sergeant at Arms, get ready. Because the next one who raised their voice in here, the next one who gets up out of context in here, will be going down the red carpet.
It is shame.
Honorable member for Marco City.
It ain't too often I'm left, struggling for words. But this one of them occasions, I didn't even know what to say. OMG. My God, my God, my God. I know, like I told you the story before, the very first time I was called to cover the House of Assembly, man, I was so excited. When I was a young reporter, boy, I get to cover the House of Assembly. I don't remember what the occasion was, but they carry on so bad in the House that day. I left there completely disillusioned. I say, what kind of Mickey Mouse operation this is? These people ain't nothing but a bunch of jokers. Is this how we want to conduct the business of the people? We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Lady Malcolm. How are you?
Good. How are you?
You take your pills today?
What pills? My vitamins?
Yeah.
I gotta go take them as soon as the show over.
Listen, now, to be real, Lady Malcolm, to be really, really, really real, the only two people that was out on in the house was the speaker and Obi.
Okay.
Because Pintard had already made his contribution towards the bill with the government, and the man had 12 more minutes.
Okay.
So I didn't see nothing wrong with him straying off in another area, like he said that they always, because I was in the House of Assembly, and even when they making their debate, they be all about through the bushes. So what Pintard did when he threw that bell thing out there, that struck a chord with Obi. I hate Obi hard because I know Obi's arguing, but I ain't never hear Obi that angry. And then, of course, the Speaker of the House on the same side, Obi are. So if Obi say something, more than likely, Diane and Motri, she probably follow through. And that's why they attack Pintard like that now. But I ain't getting no grief for Pintard, but I think Pintard was correct. Thanks for taking my call, darling.
Thanks for calling. We have another call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Malcolm.
Hey.
Okay, let me hurry because I know you gotta go. You see what I said, what Michael said to her? You don't have, I believe if that was a man, Michael wouldn't even talk to that man like that, You what he say? You don't have the right, you can't muscle me. You see? He is totally out of order. Michael is totally out of order. He just would carry on, and he would rob and rob. Don't pick no Robert Michael. He would rob and rob. You see? But for the speaker to do like that, man, I would have called the sergeant of arm long time and roll him right out of there. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Somebody sent a message on WhatsApp that says, "Good day, but Miss Malcolm, didn't you run to go in the House of Assembly to do the same thing?" No, I didn't run to do the same thing. No, I ran because I thought I could make a difference. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Miss Malcolm. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Good. Continue keeping up with your good work you're doing. You're very good.
Thank you.
But that last caller is correct. Michael Pintard, he need to sit his hip down. Yeah, he right out of order. Right out of order. They always, fussing and carrying on like that. What they expect for the young students, the young children out here carrying on. You know, what example they setting in the house? That was so annoying that day. I couldn't believe it. They're ridiculous. They need to get their act together. Well, anyway, they back on thing. I'm on Monday. We're going to see how they can carry on. But she ready for them. You enjoy your weekend. Take care.
Thanks for calling. Listen, I consider the speaker to be a very, very strong woman. But when she could say, oh, I say, oh my God, they look like they even wear it around. Oh, man. We got to do better, y'all. And, for the record, at least I never see parliamentarians come to blows, because in some of the parliament in Europe, I think they literally just come to blows, throwing chairs. I mean, not to say that I am excusing away the behavior, but in some parliaments, man, they just come to blows, literally. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Lady Malcolm, I apologize humbly for calling back, but I had to call back for them last two callers.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't mean people, they ain't too sharp,
Oh, dear.
Because if Pintard was speaking to the speaker, he would have been out on his head. He was telling Obi that you don't have the right to muzzle me. He could not have been talking to the speaker like that. Because I'm sure she would have thrown him out of there.
Mm.
And she would have responded to him if he didn't tell her that. So I don't know why the Hammond people so slow, man. He was telling Obi that. Okay. And that's all I called back to say.
All right. Thank you for calling. We have another one? Okay. Yeah, that was quite a show. Quite a show. All right. Pretty much out of time. I had pulled a bunch of clips for today, but clearly we didn't go in that direction. So doesn't make sense I go to any more clips at this point, because we got less than 2 minutes left in the show. Listen, y'all, we have to demand better. We have to demand better from our politicians. We have to demand better from our civil servants. We have to demand better from our community leaders. We have to demand better from ourselves. But we cannot be satisfied with things as they are. We got to demand better. So my encouragement today is, let us begin with ourselves. Hold ourselves to a higher standard. And then let's require the same of all those who have put themselves out to serve, whether it be at the civil servant level or at the parliamentary level, whatever. Let's demand better. Ain't no way in 2023 we're supposed to be this inefficient. I'm comfortable in it. 4 o'clock. I got to get out of here. Everybody have a good weekend. Listen, y'all, stop shooting up each other and carrying on like y'all ain't got no sense. Even if you ain't got none, act like you got some sense. Let's make this a weekend where everybody could just live in peace and harmony. How about that? Let's do this one day at a time. Since y'all can't get through the week, let's try it one day at a time. to live in peace and harmony. Until next week, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay safe.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show